Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Krithika. I am a research scholar with BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. My topic is effect of cognitive factors on second language learning, achievement motivation, and ADHD learners. So this research started when I was a teacher, and I found it extremely hard to incorporate all my learners to a particular lesson plan. I wanted to integrate my learners who are differently able to a regular classroom learning. I started with looking at learners who were diagnosed with ADHD. There have been very few studies conducted on investigating the association between achievement motivation and learner performance in a school setting, especially in an Indian context. I was interested in looking at how AM would play a role in the language performance of learners who are diagnosed with ADHD. So I'll start with my research questions. My first research question: does achievement motivation have any effect on the language task performance of ADHD learners in an Indian classroom context? The same was repeated with non-ADHD learners in an Indian classroom context. The third research question: is there any correlation between achievement motivation and language task performance? Finally, I have looked at whether the cognitive factors and learning disability are related. Now, before I get into the methodology, let me start by defining the key terms. What is learning disability? It can be defined in terms of low achievement scores when the learner has a condition that cannot be explained by other deficits or indicators. ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is a subtype of learning disability. ADHD is a psychological disorder characterized by developmentally inappropriate levels of attention or hyperactivity impulsivity, or both among the learners. ADHD is classified into 3 subtypes, and I have specifically looked at hyperactive impulsive subtype for my study. What is achievement motivation? It is the need for achievement or the intense, prolonged, and repeated efforts to accomplish something difficult. My study followed a quasi-experimental pre-test post-test design with a period of enhanced achievement motivation in between. I had 2 learner groups in the age group 7 to 9, ADHD learner group and a non-ADHD learner group. So both in the pre-test and the post-test, questionnaires were administered by the teachers to measure the level of achievement motivation in learners. Their performances in the chosen language tasks were also measured using the questionnaire. The enhanced achievement motivation period is when the teacher gives deliberate positive feedback to the learner. The positive feedback is again classified into 3 on the researcher's observational diary. So I have classified into verbal, non-verbal, and material motivation. So what exactly is the language task performance? Language task performance are learning activities designed for learning parts of speech in English for learners in the age group of 7 to 9. They are actually part of the selected schools curriculum, and it has been measured using a performance measuring questionnaire. So participant selection, there was no random selection. All of them were diagnosed by certified doctor. Consent was actually taken from the participant, the parent, and the teacher, and they all fell under the same age group of 7 to 9. The data collection tools used by me were Observer's Diary, a performance measuring questionnaire for measuring their performance in the language task, a contextual achievement motivation scale for measuring their level of achievement motivation, and a demographic form for collecting their regular details when they have enrolled in the school. I have actually looked at multiple statistical tools for analyzing and validating the experimental findings. Some of them are Cronbach alpha scores, Pearson correlation coefficient, Likert scale analysis, MANOVA, and these all were done using R. So the results of my study, it was actually interesting for me. There was an improvement in the language task performance for both the learner groups, that is for both ADHD and the non-ADHD learner group, but the percentage of improvement is huge in ADHD learner group. So they performed almost on par with the non-ADHD learner group on their language tasks. So this also made me wonder, and I have looked at a Pearson correlation coefficient to see whether language task performance and achievement motivation were related, and the results gave me a moderate positive uphill correlation, showing that in fact AM and there was a positive trend between AM and language task performance. So coming to the graphs, as we can see, there is an improvement in their achievement score as well as their language task performance, both in the pre-test and the post-test. But in case of ADHD learner, the improvement is huge. So here we can see for the non-ADHD learner group, there is an improvement in the language task performance. But compared to the ADHD learner group, their improvement remains minimal. Now, these results actually made me wonder, and made me look at learning disability in detail. I was also interested in knowing whether any cognitive factor was involved with the domain of learning disability. Now, when I started analyzing multiple studies, except for working memories, studies combining cognitive factors and learning disability were really minimal. Learning disability was directly proportional to attention span. The works I analyzed showed that the learners diagnosed with learning disability had two crucial factors linked to working memory, which led to an increased memory load. And these two factors were that these learners lacked the capability of inhibiting information irrelevant for a particular situation, and they also had slow information processing capacity. Now, these results do indicate multiple cognitive indicators involved in the case of learning disability rather than just one. So if we compile all the results together, these results indicate how learning disability, out of which ADHD is a subtype, isn't just it isn't just underachievement. These results suggest a segregation between learning disability and underachievement. So further studies in this field would be a stepping stone for future integration and inclusive education. Yeah, so these are some of my limitations. Yes, thank you.